Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the Oreo Express. Josh here. We made it to Friday. We made it to Friday. What is it, the 21st? Let me double check that. I think it is the 21st today. We made it to Friday the 21st. That is awesome. Welcome, welcome. I hope you all are ready. Trump was on fire today. We got some comments he made at a press conference. And he absolutely destroyed the governor of Maine when he was talking about the men and women's restrooms and the men and women's sports and the governors complying. You're going to love it. We got that for you in the show. We also got some promises made, promises kept by Tom Homan. And what that promise was, we actually had a business that was raided, and they are the business owners who were knowingly employing illegals and harboring illegals were charged. Tom Homan said that would be coming. So we got a lot to talk about today. I hope you're all having a wonderful Friday. There's some fun stuff we're going to show you. Then there's some drama stuff we're going to show you. But last night, let me take some of the comments really quick. See, Marsha, Cade, Texas, what's up? Karen Sunflower in the house. Pixie's in the house. Chris B. Let's see, who else? Sleuthy TV, how are you doing? Nola and Pixie. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Hope you're enjoying your Friday. We got we got some fun stuff in store for you. Last night, I was, as I'm always going, looking for stuff, seeing what breaking news there is. I seen a couple tweets from Senator Mark Mullins, and it was hilarious. If you guys didn't see last night, the Democrats were putting on a show on the floor, the House floor, and the Senate floor. And what they are doing is they have no power. Democrats have no power. They're really upset about Doge and Republicans cutting the waste, the fraud, and abuse. So what they are saying is that the budget is to give $1 million breaks to billionaires, all the stuff they always say. All the stuff they always say. But so they sit there on the House floor all night, and the Elizabeth Warrens of the world and everybody else tweet how you're gonna be homeless and starving, and you're not gonna have your insulin, and it won't be more than 2 weeks before you have measles because of this budget. The same scare tactics that have failed them and is the reason why they lost the 2024 election in some parts. But check out Mark Mullins. I got a kick out of this. I thought it was interesting. And what a way to deal with it. Listen to what he says. He breaks it down really well.
It's getting late Thursday evening, and we're in the crypt. This isn't a Capitol tour, but hey guys, it's getting late Thursday evening, and we're in the crypt. This isn't a Capitol tour, but I thought it was kind of fitting for what's going on tonight with the Democrat Party. But to explain why this is called the crypt is because this is supposed to be a glass floor that George Washington would be buried underneath, and we'd be looking at his body, which is kind of creepy because I hate cemeteries. And so just kind of a sign here, if my wife ever buries me in a cemetery, know she was mad at me that day. Anyways, what's going on tonight? It's called the Vote-A-Rama. And all it is really on a budget bill, what we're trying to push forward today. And the whole point of it is to move the president's agenda forward. And it's going to cover energy, it's going to cover defense, and it's going to cover border security. Now, you would think they would be okay with that, but they're not, because they want to do this political grandstand. And so we're going to be here literally all night voting on amendments that have zero chance to make it to the bill. It's just all for show. And really it's to put members in a hard position that's up for re-election to make hard votes so they can run ads against it. I'm telling you, that's all this is for. And it's called a Vote-A-Rama. It's a rule that probably really should be changed. Fortunately, though, I feel good. I don't even drink coffee. Can you imagine if I drank caffeine, how I'd be?
Listen.
I don't know how some of these older guys are going to do it, like Bernie Sanders. He looks bad when he first gets up in the morning. Do you imagine what he's going to look like when he's been up for 24 hours? I'm just thinking about that. I'm going to have to look at this tonight, guys. It's going to be a problem. Anyways, I just say that it's no watch the hockey game. Don't pay attention to us tonight because the hockey game is going to be much better. Anyways, I appreciate the time. Just thought I would throw it.
So I seen that and I just loved it. The Bernie Sanders comment had me rolling last night because you've seen him when he shows up. Just imagine after an all-nighter. But he didn't stop there. Again, he said he wanted to give you a tour because, nothing was really being done but a bunch of propaganda. And again, Democrats knew they didn't stand a chance. Check out his next video. And they're short, but I thought this was great. I thought it was pretty comical.
Hey guys, this is me entertaining myself in the wee hours in the morning with someone with a camera. This is what happens. No, I don't drink, and no, I don't drink coffee, so this isn't caffeine fueled. I just thought I would kind of explain, why is the Capitol called the Hill? Well, if you look at this is kind of a layout map. So you got the Capitol here, and you got the Air and Space Museum, Native American Museum here. You got the National Mall here, Washington Monument, the World War II veteran, and then the Lincoln Memorial. If you notice, all the water's down here, the Potomac. And so from this point all the way to Capitol Hill, it climbs. And that's why this is the highest point in Washington, D.C., and that's why it's called the Hill.
Interesting stuff. I mean, this is much more informative than anything the Democrats were doing last night with their tweets, which also had me cracked up. And this time it's 1:10 a.m. Look at them now.
I thought I would kind of show you. Well, since we lost the hockey game, which is kind of bittersweet, and we're still stuck here voting on this vote-a-rama that's pointless, I thought I would kind of show you something else on this whole Capitol tour. So in the War of 1812, when those redcoats came in here and tried to burn us out, they started the fire up in Statuary Hall. But when the fire took off, it collapsed and fell down, and then this worked like a chimney, so the stairway here. But in the meantime, there's a story that says that there were some redcoats that came through that entrance, and they had heard that there were some of our soldiers that were hiding upstairs, and so they came up and got stuck in this stairway, and this stairway looked like or worked like a chimney, and evidently they were burned alive, which I have zero hard feelings about that at all. You're burning our Capitol, you deserve to die. But before they died, they carved in 3 crosses, and so I want to show you those crosses. So just to remind you, these are the original steps from the original Capitol. So they didn't fall when it got burned. So we got 1 cross here. You have 1 cross here, and then you got another cross here. So those are the 3 crosses of the 3 guys that got cooked alive in our stairway.
So he was having an informal session last night. I think we got one more for you before we get to some of the other stuff. Now it's about an hour later than that, and the vote-a-rama continues. And like he says, Democrats are only in there showboating. They don't have the numbers. Again, Republicans are going to follow Trump's agenda, and I have to give them credit. I thought there would be some more pushback. Even some of the Rhino members are like jumping on board. And I think that's because, again, you do what keeps you in your seat. And now they understand that, wow, with that the MAGA movement is powerful enough to remove these people, primary these people, and get them out of office. Listen to this.
Hey guys, we're just off the Senate. Hey guys, we're just off the Senate floor, and we're in the middle of what they call vote-a-rama. And what it attaches to is when the majority party puts out a budget, the minority party, they can go in and put as many amendments on it as they want. And it's a rule that really needs to be replaced because it's a waste of time. We'll be here all night long. They're going to put forth maybe 50 amendments, maybe 100 amendments. It really doesn't matter because they're going to lose every one of them. So why do they do it? It's for show and for political purposes only. Now, I will be honest, Republicans did the same thing to the Democrats when they were in control too, when they tried to do reconciliation underneath Biden. But the whole point is just to put vulnerable members that's up for re-election in a tough position to have to make a vote that they can run a political commercial about. And that's what the vote-a-roma has turned into. There's no rhyme or reason other than a waste of time that they do it, because not one of these amendments will make it on this bill.
See, and that's just it. So you hear this
Hey guys,
all the time when they do this, things that won't, and you're going to vote no on it. And then they go back and there's something in their bill for to help a cancer patient with a cheaper copay. And Democrats will run an ad and say, Republicans, John over here wants to kill cancer patients. Democrats put forward this resolution, this bill, this amendment that would allow this person to only pay $5, and John voted against it. That's all it is politics and games. And like he says, both sides do it. I thought this was kind of interesting. Aleph Aeronautics releases footage of their electric car jumping over another car in a road in California. I just thought it would be interesting to show you guys the future is coming. Again, if you would have told me 20 years ago that we would have Tesla self-driving cars, that people, drive actually, according to statistics, drive actually better than humans do. I would say you're full of it. But check this out. We're probably not 20 years away from this. Kind of interesting. Obviously, it's just a concept right now. It's probably, and maybe if I read a little more into it, it's probably just one big drone. The company claims that this is the first test in history of a car drive and vertical takeoff in a city. The company hopes to solve traffic by developing a car that can simply fly over it. The drive and flight test represents an important proof of technology in real-world city environments, said the CEO. We hope it will be a moment similar to the Wright brothers Kitty Hawk video, proving to humanity that new transportation is possible. That's kind of crazy. I see Marcia says, no, thank you, please. I'm like, yeah, man, I hate driving in liberal cities. Could you imagine being in traffic in LA and just, I'd be gone. We'd be everywhere. So we've been talking a lot recently, and again, we're going to have an epic comment from Donald Trump here in a minute. Actually, a few, but where he calls out the governor of Maine and says, you know what? Pretty much you're done. At a press conference this morning, and it was epic. It was like, wow. I love people that don't go on Twitter or don't go behind a camera somewhere and say something. I love Trump because he'll do it right to your face, and that's kind of leadership we need. But with all this DEI and wokeness, and we tell you how unions are a big problem in a lot of industries, especially the federal government. Our tax dollars should not pay for unions. If the private industry wants to do it, I think that's a whole nother thing. I don't think federal or your tax dollar contracts should, you bid for a job in Fresno, they pick union first, so they pick the more expensive one. This was out by Libs of TikTok. The union, representing over 17,000 United pilots, just sent out an email promoting DEI, which includes a trans activist, Maya Tallman, a man who pretends to be a woman. And so we're going to pull this up for you. I'm going to read some of it. It says diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, a subcommittee of membership. And then it has all these, and then it does have Captain Maya Tallman down here. I'm a white person who looks at Black History Month as an incredible opportunity to honor, respect, and learn about culture not my own. A couple of my favorite ways to actively observe are to read books by Black authors and to find Black-owned businesses I can patronize in the Chicago suburbs. And it goes on, but this is the person they're literally promoting. That right there, this is your captain speaking. And again, it's got to be about merit. Now, hey, if she's not in there, because of her choice in life, more power to her. But again, with everything we've been seeing, and again, DEI is dying. Like these unions, it was the union that sent this out. They remind me of the Democrats. The Titanic is sinking. There's a life raft right there. There's a life raft. And they're just looking at it like, nope, we're going down with DEI, ship DEI. And that seems to be what's going on here. What else do we got? More wokeness. This is in California, Long Beach Unified School District. We've been to Long Beach a lot. We're actually in Long Beach a lot. Sent out an email to parents. And remember, when we have mudslides, when we have these fires, because we have DEI hires and because we don't manage the shrubs and everything else in these areas, we're just not prepared for it. And we want to blame global warming. Well, the things we focus on, and we're going to talk about it here, is again, Passage Bill 230. Hold on. I'm going to pull this up so I can have something so I can tell you and show you, because we already know if it's okay, here we go. And just to prove, I've actually got up stuff, because people in other states, or sometimes people that really don't watch the live stream, they're like, this guy's lying. There's no way. So this was a letter sent to the parents. It says, parents, and I'll put it up on the board here. Dear parents and guardians and caregivers, we are reaching out to share an important update regarding student wellness, and here we go, equity in our schools. As part of California's Menstrual Equity for All Act, Assembly Bill 367, all public schools must provide free menstrual products in all girls' restroom, gender-neutral restrooms, and at least one boys' restroom per campus for the 2024-2025 school year. Previously, this law applied to grades 6 through 12, but with the passage of Assembly Bill 230, it now includes students in grades 3 through 12. So your third grade boy goes into the bathroom and there's tampons in there. This is how nuts California is. Ensuring that younger students have access to these essential hygiene products. At LBUSD, we are committed to reducing barriers to learning and fostering a supportive environment for all students. By implementing this policy, we aim to ensure that any student who menstruates, including transgender boys and non-binary students, can access the necessary products with dignity and discretion. Dispensers are currently being installed in restrooms across our school site, and we appreciate your patience as we complete this process. We also encourage families to speak with their children at home about the appropriate and safe use of menstrual products. At some point, now I want to put something in here, and then we'll get to just the mental illness and the sick, disgusting adults that push this. Because if you're an adult, you know this is wrong. You know, if a third, fourth, fifth, I don't care what grade, any elementary school thinks there's something else, you know what? They need to be removed from school. That's all there is to it. Because what does it say? It wants to have we are committed to reducing barriers to learning and fostering a supportive environment for all students. What that means is we're working on 1% of the students, less than 1%. So all these other students that just need to go to school and learn can go to school. They're going to go to the bathroom. There's going to be menstrual products. Like, I'm sorry, but like, if Caden came home from third grade and said, Dad, there's these things in the bathroom. Why are they in there? I was like, because these people are mentally ill. You have people that go to your school and you have adults coaching them to keep going on about this instead of doing what's right, getting them the mental health they need. This is child abuse, folks. This is child abuse. And I'll pull up the bill right now, and then we'll look at Long Beach Unified's track record of education. I haven't even looked at that. So here's the bill. This is Assembly Bill number 230, Chapter 421. And it says, the legislator finds and declares all the following. California has made great strides in increasing access to menstrual products by enacting legislation that addresses period equity. I can't believe this. The things I have to read when it comes to California. Period equity. I'm sorry, that one just got me today. Like when you're reading it and you're like, no, I just totally messed up this word. It could not say period equity. It says the Menstrual Equity for All Act of 2021 requires schools serving any grade 6 to 12 inclusive to stock restrooms with free and accessible menstrual products. There are over 2,400 schools that serve younger pupils in grades 3 to 5 inclusive that are not required to stock free menstrual products in schools' restrooms, missing a population of pupils that may start their periods early. The Girl Scout Troop 76 of San Gorgino Council have tackled menstrual equity through their Silver Award project by destigmatizing periods by providing emergency menstrual kits to young pupils in need. Anyways, it goes on. This is from Reyes. This is what period equity. How do you have equity for something boys can't do? Right? I mean, again, taking something else away from a woman. You know, these people are sick, and I'm glad Trump is in office again. It's going to take some time, but some of this stuff will get fixed. Now, let me just look at this. Long Beach Unified. Because I didn't even think about doing this, but I'm going to do it. Testing numbers. Let's pull this up. Testing scores. It's giving me their phone number. Why isn't it giving me? Oh, in Long Beach. Here we go. U.S. News and World Report. 55 elementary schools. Where did it say this? And here's where their enrollment. I can't believe they're enrolling people by gender. That seems not equitable, but right now, 49% of their students are female, 51% are male, 59% Hispanic, 12% Black or African American, 12% white, 10% Asian, 5.1% two or more races. Now let's see this. Test scores. Wow. They're 39% proficient in test scores. 39%, guys, in mathematics. So these people couldn't show you a box of tampons that have 12 in there and say, what happens if you took out 3? They wouldn't know that equals 9 in Long Beach. How about reading? Less than half are proficient. Only, I'll pull this up on the board right here so I'm not cheating. Look at that. The blue is elementary. And if you notice, as they get older and they get more indoctrinated, so the dark blue is elementary, the blue is the regular blue is middle school, and the light blue is high school. So let me put myself up here really quick while we look at this. So you're telling me in mathematics, 4 out of 10 kids are proficient in elementary school. And by the time you get to high school, it's only 26% proficient in math. Now, even reading, at least reading goes up a little, but it stays right around 50%. So 50% of the kids graduating from Long Beach can't read or add or subtract. And this is what they're focusing on. And so this is interesting. If you look at this, revenue by source, 62% of their revenue comes from the state, 24.9, so 25% local taxes, and 13.2 federal. So that 13.2, I'm going to have to look at that, add that up. That 13.2 could be out the door. Now, Long Beach, even though they're woke, they'll use the excuse where we're following a state law. If state law violates federal law trumps state law. We've learned that time and time again. Federal law is the supreme law of the land. I mean, you have teachers, you have everybody else promoting this stuff and thinking this is what's right when the children can't even read or do math. I can't believe that math. I think in math, they might be worse than Fresno. And Fresno is absolutely horrible with the ignorant folks they have on the Fresno Unified School Board. I mean, you want to talk about dumb and woke. It's just incredible. Incredible. I just can't believe that. So, anyways, if you missed the whole story, Long Beach will be in their elementary schools from third grade up, will be putting tampons in boys' bathrooms. Oh, man. 1 second before we get to the next story, let's read an ad really quick. And I appreciate you all. It says this sponsorship is from Rumble, one that is incredibly important to the survival of the company. When Rumble first started in 2013, they built a platform for small creators. They didn't censor or have biases. They were fair and treated all creators equally. No one thought platforms would censor political conversation or censor opinions on COVID, but they did. Facebook admitted they fell to the pressure from the Biden and Harris administration. Rumble did not. They held the line. They are attacked daily for giving us a voice to talk to you. They are attacked in corporate media. They are attacked by governments like France. They are attacked from brand advertisers who refuse to work with them. Corporate America is fighting to remove speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers. They don't get much of it. Watching our show on Rumble is the most they can ask from you. But if you really believe in this fight, and if you have the means, one major way you can help Rumble survive is by joining Rumble Premium. Join the community that believes in the First Amendment and believes in our human right to free speech. Rumble is offering $10 off with promo code STUDIO when you purchase an annual subscription. Go to rumble.com/premium and use promo code STUDIO. Like I said, if you have the means, believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, we are just happy that you watch us on Rumble, and we are thankful for Rumble. We are thankful for having a platform that does not censor us. We can say whatever we want. We can speak truth. We can question science. We can let you guys know what's going on in the world with all these freaks, and we are not censored. So thank you, Rumble. So the Department of Education, since we just got through with that story with Long Beach, Libs of TikTok shares this. We know there's a lot of executive orders. There's a lot of people changing their titles that were part of the woke diversity culture. And I just seen this right here. It says, this is from the Department of Education, removed over 2,000 web pages pushing radical gender ideology and DEI propaganda that were from the Biden admin. So this was a Breitbart story. Exclusive Education Department removes 2,300 web pages pushing woke propaganda from Biden administration. And U.S. Department of Education, it says U.S. Department, let's see, what is GSA? And it goes through this. So it's the Gay Student Alliance. They have those clubs all over the country. Again, why does Why does someone's sexuality define them? Like, this is all I am. I sleep with a guy, and that's how you need to address me. That's how, if I get in a crash, remember I'm gay. Like, I don't get it. Old Uncle Bill gifted a subscription. Thank you, old Uncle Bill. Appreciate you. It's like, guys, I don't care what you do. I have gay friends. And I tell you what, they don't want they don't want my kids to be forced some indoctrination, and they're totally against the trans cult. It's just insane. It's just insane. Today's one of those days where hold on. All right, what else do we got here? Let's do this one first. Then we're going to talk about how we tell you Democrats hate America. They're rooting for other countries over the United States. But first, the other day I covered the blackout. You guys remember the date? I want to see if anybody remembers the date that we need to go shop. I'm going to give you guys a minute in here. Giving you time. I know there's a delay too. There's a delay. The delay's a little longer on Rumble. But I'm looking down at it right now. What day are we supposed to shop? We covered it the other day because all these people that are against, there it is. See, Marcia has it, February 28th. Well, CBS News is getting in the game, and they put, actually, let me, so we're going to pull this up. It says, talk of a February 28th economic blackout. I hope this backfires so much. I hope everybody, like literally, I'm telling you, there's stuff I would have went shopping for this weekend that I'm going to wait. It says over the past few weeks, information has been spreading on social media about a nationwide economic protest called the February 28th economic blackout. To call to action, or rather inaction, is asking the American consumers to refrain from making any purchases at major retailers on Friday, February 28th. The protest comes as people continue to endure rising prices on everything from food and gas, housing, and utilities, epitomized by the soaring cost of eggs, which in January were averaged at $4.95 a dozen. Behind the boycott is a group called the People's Union USA, a self-described grassroots organization funded by John Swartz, a 57-year-old dad originally from Queen, New York, who has been promoting the consumer blackout for weeks on social media. The People's Union says it has no political affiliation. I have a question for him. Listen, we know what this blackout, who has jumped on this blackout. All the people pushing for open borders, all the commies, all the Marxists, the open Marxists are pushing for this. I think we need to go out there. And again, if you have shopping to do over the next week and it can hold off, do it on February 28th. I would love to see that be a big day for the booming of this economy. Where'd this one go? So, as I said earlier, you have people that hate America, elected leaders, Ian Omar, Ghetto Jasmine Crockett, and listen to what she says here. Listen to when we have a commander-in-chief who wants to put America first over our allies, over our enemies. We have wasted money. We have put ourselves into an extreme amount of debt. We are on the verge of bankruptcy. Who do you think Jasmine Crockett is rooting for? Oh, I almost closed it. I'm glad I didn't. Here we go. Let me put it up here.
The one to call it out. The fact that I'm rooting for Canada and I'm rooting for Mexico a lot is really wild. But they are really the ones that are speaking truth to power right now. They can see what it is. And they were like, we are not messing with this crazy regime from Mar-a-Lago. And basically calling them one to call it out. The fact that I'm rooting for Canada and I'm rooting for Mexico a lot is really wild. But they are really the ones that are speaking truth to power right now. They can see what it is. And they were like, we are not messing with this crazy regime from Mar-a-Lago, and basically calling them thugs. That's what it is. But I'm like, y'all knew who he was when y'all elected him.
That's right, we did. And he's going to win, and people like you will lose. You got to be a pretty miserable person to want countries that are allowing fentanyl, sex traffickers, and everything else into this country. That's what the tariffs were for, was to keep drugs out of our country and to secure our border. And you're rooting for the drug dealers. It's sickening. It's sickening, guys. All right, what do we got coming up? So, I want to play this one, and then I'm going to play the other one. We played Robert Garcia and his threat to calls for violence. We've talked
Well,
about.
he is a dick. And I think he's also harming the American public in an enormous way. And what I think is really important, and what the American public want, is for us weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight for democracy, for the weapons to this bar fight. This is an weapons to this bar fight. This is an.
So Robert is now claiming that he doesn't have free speech because he's being investigated. And listen to his video here. This is just great. I can't believe and then I'll tell you what Trump team put.
Congressman, I find it quite rich that the free speech warriors at the Trump Justice Department would be so worked up about a metaphor you used on CNN. Obviously, there's no bar fight. No one's bringing weapons anywhere. But what do you think they are trying to do here?
I mean, it's pretty clear that they are trying to not just intimidate me, but intimidate other members of Congress who are actively opposing and criticizing Donald Trump and Elon Musk from actually speaking. And it's crazy that they want to investigate me for essentially using a metaphor and for taking on Elon Musk. And I think what's really disturbing in this moment is that we know that we've got to fight fire with fire. We know we've got to bring the energy to this fight as Elon Musk is raiding the federal treasury to give himself and his billionaire buddies a tax cut. And they want to police that language. They want to stop us from fighting back. And so, look, we take this threat seriously. At the same time, we're not going to be silenced by Elon Musk or by Donald Trump.
They take the threat seriously. The actual threat was we need to bring weapons out there to the streets. This is a bar fight. They have on numerous occasions, Chuck Schumer, we actually seen the Biden DOJ didn't protect Supreme Court Justice Holmes when there was Antifa and the retards out there protesting. And I always said that's when Americans need to stand up and go clean house. Let them walk around toothless for the next 6 months until they can get their government dental benefits. But before I shot out Knucklehead, hold on. Look at this is what Trump's war room tweeted out. You shouldn't make violent threats, Roberta. You gotta love this. So we had a Rumble Rant Challenge, guys. Thank you so much. Rumble Rant Challenge from Knucklehead Homestead. Thank you for the challenge, guys. We are 100% viewer funded. Your donations, your Rumble rants are how we are able to stay on the air, how we are able to put gas, food, and lodging when we travel, keep the lights on, keep the phones on, and we want to say thank you more than you know. If you do want to accept that challenge, we appreciate it. You can use Rumble Rants. You can use Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $ Oreo Army, or givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. We appreciate you. We thank you more than you know. And again, Granola Nola says, I match this challenge. Now I'm wondering really quick. Oh, it does. Okay, it now comes up. I have it set up there. So when you do it, it comes on the screen, not for very long. And I can't change that. But it does come up on there. Let me see something. Oh, I can also put that up there. I don't like that. All right. So we're going to move on. Thank you, Nola. Thank you. Knucklehead Homestead. Again, every little bit helps, guys. And I appreciate it. Wanda Gator, I'm probably saying the last name wrong. Wanda Gator Pataki, the vice chair of the Bridgeport Democrat Party, turned herself in at the state police barracks in Bridgeport on new charges related to the 2023 election when she was caught stuffing ballot boxes. Meanwhile, Democrats and the media still insist there's no election fraud. This was posted by I'm Meme Zero. I meme, therefore I am. And this was the original video. Let me back that up so you can see it again, because this doesn't happen. This must be AI. Take a look at that. I got more of these bad boys. Let me stuff these things in here. How many you got? Multiple illegal absentee ballots being deposited into the ballot box. Look at her looking around. Who sees me? Cheese. Say cheese. What'd that say? I got to see. Back at Wanda's workstation, she preps for another deposit. Look at all these folks working, but Democrat says this don't happen. Well, let's see the video of her turning herself in this morning.
Wanda, any comment?
There we
Wanda,
go.
any comment on?
This is beautiful stuff to see.
Wanda, any comment on the new charges?
There's going to be, I think, over the next 4 years, there's going to be a hell of a lot more of people being arrested for this stuff. Jan Garner, challenge accepted. Thank you, Josh, for everything. Appreciate you. Jan, appreciate you. Corn Dog in the house. Corn Dog 55. Thank you for matching that challenge. We appreciate you guys. It means a lot to us. And again, it keeps us going. Let's see what else we got. That was a good one. I like that when I see somebody having to face accountability, especially for something that Democrat says don't happen, when it was actually on video how many times she stuffed that ballot box. And good job to the investigative people that got that camera footage and found out what she was doing. That's what we need more of. Oh, man, you guys remember the freak Patricia Eugenio, the bipolar maniac? Well, the Proud Boys were in D.C. today, and she went up there and had to be forcefully removed. Take a look at this. This is from Freedom News TV. Let me refresh it. Guys, the Trump derangement syndrome, the Patriot derangement syndrome, the Elon derangement syndrome, and they just don't know how to act out properly. Like, they're not doing anything productive. They're not doing anything that's going to help whatever their cause is, just being a dumb, you know what. So we know that there's a lot of stuff going on right now as far as Doge. I read last night, I can't remember which building, but there was a building that the government bought or took over like 24 years ago. It cost him or 20 years ago, it's cost him $24 million in upkeep, and they've never even utilized it. They sold that off. Things that the government is doing now to save taxpayers' money. Now people are upset in San Francisco. The White House is looking to sell the Nancy Pelosi Federal Building in San Francisco. Take a look at this.
And the century-old building at 50 United. White House is looking to sell the Nancy Pelosi Federal Building. And the century-old building at 50 United Nations Plaza. The Trump administration says it will save money by avoiding maintenance on the buildings, selling the properties, then leasing office space for federal workers. Former Congresswoman Jackie Spears says it's just about vengeance.
It's another example of how he's coming after Democrats, he's coming after California, and it's all about payback.
White House is looking to sell the Nancy Pelosi Federal Building.
Why do we need that? Why does our tax dollars need to go to that? That's not payback. These people have rolled around in the taxpayers' money. It reminds
in the century-old building
you know what it reminds
at 50
me of?
United Nations Plaza.
The Trump. Why do these things keep starting again? You guys remember this? What do Democrats remind me of? Let's see if it'll pull it up. This is from when I was a kid. I don't even remember the dude's name. I just remember it was. I want to pull that up on the right. Remember this dude, little DuckTales, the gold slide, and this dude right here, Scrooge. That's what Democrats remind me of. Anytime we do anything to save taxpayers' money, they lie to you. They say it's revenge. They say it's all this stuff. But you know what? Our press secretary put them where they belong, and I want to show you this video, and then we're going to get into some of Trump's comments. Some of them were absolutely epic. You're going to love it.
I believe that President Trump is delivering on the promises he made. And
we're now hearing from constituents in some traditionally red districts right now complaining about what they say is the chainsaw approach and saying that it's been done very sloppily, the cuts to jobs and spending. How do you respond to that criticism?
I love how the media takes a few critics when the overwhelming response from the American people is support for what this administration is doing. If you look at the public polling, 70% of Americans, according to CBS, believe that President Trump is delivering on the promises he made. And there should be no secret about the fact that this administration is committed to cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. The president campaigned on that promise. Americans elected him on that promise, and he's actually delivering on it. And this is something that Democrats promised they would do for decades. President Trump is just the first president to get it done.
Let me ask you about the fraud, if I can. We can all have our own opinion about what is wasteful spending, and Republicans have praised the president for cutting wasteful spending, but fraud, of course, is a crime. So have you turned over evidence of fraud to the Justice Department, and when should we expect to see those indictments?
It's a clever question. First of all, I think all Americans would agree that funding mastectomies in Mozambique is not something that the American people should be funding, or DEI programs. I think it's fraudulent that the American government has been ripping off taxpayers in this way. And we also do know there has been extensive fraud, particularly if you look at Social Security. In fact, according to an IG report from the Social Security Administration, there was $71 billion worth of fraud in one single fiscal year that we know about. And so that is a lot of fraud, Peter, that the government has admitted to. So this administration is committed to finding even more of that fraud, waste, and abuse.
To be clear, that $71 billion was from 2015 to 2022, so it wasn't in just 1 year, and it was
$71 billion.
But it wasn't in 1 year, just to be clear.
In one report.
And it was in one report over multiple years, from 2015 to 2022.
So are you defending $71 billion in fraud, Peter? That's a lot of money, far too much, and that's why this administration. Why is the media so against cutting waste, fraud, and abuse from the government? I don't don't get it.
I just want to ask a question.
We won't be deterred. We will not be deterred from people like you and the press who are clearly adamantly opposed to cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. But we know that American taxpayers at home who have been struggling with an inflationary crisis don't want their tax dollars going towards crazy DEI programs in countries overseas. They also don't like the fact that there has been $71 billion worth of fraud in Social Security and improper payments going out the door. That's a problem that needs to be fixed, and President Trump is going to fix it. That's your fifth.
Man, Peter, oh, that was over so many years, 71 billion, and you're going to find a way to try and defend it. This is the media, folks. This is legacy media. This is why we're very fortunate. And I told you this years ago. I couldn't be doing what I'm doing without you folks, and I couldn't be doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for the way they conduct their jobs. I am thankful for legacy media. They have really opened up a section for truth and honesty. And again, just like the Democrat Party, they are doubling down. Now, here comes some great news. Some of y'all been waiting on this. I know we have. We talked about it yesterday. Kash Patel was confirmed. Everybody wants to know about the Epstein client list.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you.
So hopefully we get some bombshell stuff on there. I don't want it to be a nothing burger. I want to see the actual FBI go after these people that were part of all this. It was sick. It was disgusting. Other thing we talked about and Trump mentioned today again in his press conference was the fact Fort Knox. Take a listen.
Dry. Would that be terrible? There's another one, but we're actually going to Fort Knox because I want to see, do we have the gold? Do we have the gold?
Do we have the gold?
Still have whatever it is, tons of gold. I hope we do. Wouldn't that be disappointing? Fort Knox. You grow up hearing about Fort Knox. You can't get in. You can't even see it. Nobody sees it. You go there and the place is dry. Would that be terrible? There's another one. Maybe you should go with us to that one. But we're going to go in there pretty soon. They're going to open the doors to Fort Knox. If any governor would like to go with us, well, good. You want to go with us on that one, Ron? That could be good. Could be interesting. Can you imagine if we open it up and there's no gold? Well, I think there will be. For one reason, it's really heavy. You steal or borrow gold, you got to be strong. So it's not like other things. But
so that was interesting, and it gets epic. Karen Sunflower, thank you for the matching the challenge. And Old Uncle Bill, thank you for your Zelle. I got that notification. Thank you, Old Uncle Bill and Karen Sunflower. You guys, it is a complete blessing, and it helps us pay these bills. Thank you very much.
But we're actually going to.
What else do we got over here? Let's find out. This is epic. This is so far probably my favorite of any of the press conferences, even on Inauguration Day, the day after. He calls out Governor Janet Mills of Maine, calls her right out and tells her, I don't think you're going to be in politics too long. Take a listen to this.
Good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real. We need people in the country. But they have to come in legally. 2 weeks ago, I signed an executive order banning men from playing in women's sports. Many Democrats are fighting me on that. I hope you continue because you'll never win another race. And it's just crazy. If you look at what happened with the boxing, if you look at what happened with the weightlifting numbers, where a record that hadn't been broken for 19 years got shattered. But, they put up an eighth of an ounce here, an eighth of an ounce there, and it's 218 pounds or whatever, a lot. And hadn't been broken in 19 years. And then guy walks up who transitioned. He transitioned. And he knocked out that record by about 100 pounds. That will be a record not going to be broken again in a long. So we put a ban on it. and to protect women. I mean, the women, if you watch the Olympics, you had two transitioned people that were fighting in the women's boxing. They have women's boxing category. And if you saw that, it was brutal. What happened to the Italian woman was a really good boxer. After one punch, she said, no, no, no more, no more. I've never been hit. It was a left. It was not even it was just a left jab. She got hit so hard, she said, I can't do it. They forced her to go out. No, go out again. You'll do it. Goes out again, gets hit again. No, no, that's it. She didn't want to die. And it's crazy, but the NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Are you not going to comply with it?
Listen.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding. Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor because I don't think you'll be in elected politics. Every state has a responsibility to comply with Title IX. They have an obligation, a legal obligation, and we'll be enforcing aggressively. And we're going to be protecting. We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
Wow. How epic was that? That was fire. That was fire. Calling them right out to their face, right there. He didn't go behind and do a Truth Social post. He didn't go to the media when nobody was around. He did it right there in front of everybody, called them out, said, guess what? This is federal law. And again, the governor of Maine, some whack job liberal. Oh, well, we got state law. Well, I hope he does end that federal funding to Maine. I hope Maine learns a huge lesson on that. Again, so far, my favorite of the presidency, and I have a lot of favorites. So as we move on, and Slim Tito, thank you for letting me know about that. I just seen that while that video was playing. We'll cover that at the end. Thank you, Slim Tito. Huge. President Trump says CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, will be investing hundreds of billions of dollars into America. Take a listen.
They don't want to pay the tariffs.
He kind of hinted to this last week.
Yesterday, I had Tim Cook in the office from Apple. He's investing hundreds of billions of dollars. I don't know. I hope he's announced it. But what the hell? All I do is tell the truth. That's what he told me. Now he has to do it, right? So it's a good. But he's investing hundreds of billions of dollars and others too. We're going to have a lot of chip makers coming in, a lot of automakers coming in. They stopped 2 plants in Mexico. They were under construction, starting construction. They just stopped them. They're going to build here instead because they don't want to pay the tariffs. The tariffs are amazing. It's good. I got myself in a lot of trouble. I said it's my favorite word in the dictionary, the word tariff. It's such a beautiful word. And the fake news killed me. They said, what about love? What about God? What about family? And they said, I'm in trouble. I said, so now it's my fourth favorite word. I say, love, God, family. A couple of others I could add in there too, but it's my fourth favorite word. So.
Doing what we expect, again, bringing manufacturing and jobs back to the United States instead of having these investors, people like Tim Cook, people like Apple that do manufacture a lot of stuff out of the country. And I understand why. I told you I was in purchasing for a very long time. I have a supply chain background. I'm purchasing manager. I negotiated with South Korea, Thailand. I negotiated with China. And a lot of times it was because of regulations, especially being here in California. I've told you guys some of the stories before where literally we had certain plating that we had to get done in our materials. And we would have a manufacturer, a local manufacturer, because I always tried to do as local as possible and as close to local as I could. and they would ship out the product to another, like a plating company. And then when California started doing rules and regulations, I couldn't get the local place to plate those. I literally went right on the border of California, right outside California, cost us increased shipping cost, increased the lead time, delays, everything else, but it's just something you got to do. And when you have a president like Donald Trump who is pro-business, less regulations, build in America, these are the kind of things you do. I seen this today as well. CIA plans largest mass firing in nearly 50 years. Says the possible purge of officers working on resulting and diversity comes as the agency moves to comply with the spirit of an executive order banning efforts to diversify the federal workforce. So you're telling me, and this tells you where we were at as a country. It tells you this article says this is the diversity group, and that's the largest mass firing in 50 years. That's how big this wokeness was and how it was infiltrating our government. And I'm so happy that it's gone now. This was a Denver news thing, and I maybe they shouldn't walk out of school if they can't spell, right? Take a look at this. Says around 1,000 students in Lakewood walked out of a class Thursday to show their support for immigrants in response to President Donald Trump's promise for mass deportation. My dad works harder than president, no E. And these people want to walk out of class. I suggest you spend a little more time. And I can't believe the news even published this, but spend a little more time in class and educating yourself. Now, check this out. We got some good news after this one, but I just want to show you what's going on in LA. You literally have activists patrolling for ICE, but that might not be going on much longer. Once I show you the next
today
story,
to ensure that no families.
As Immigration and Customs Enforcement ramps up arrests and deportations nationwide, a local group is doing patrols of its own, hoping to help protect those at risk.
But do they believe they're obstructing the work of ICE? McCullough Medina followed that group earlier this morning to get that answer and much more.
Just before daybreak,
We're going to kind of zigzag through the street.
a handful of volunteers hit the pavement in South Central LA.
We're really trying today to ensure that no families are disrupted and separated.
Children are afraid to go to school because they think their parents might get deported.
John Parker and teacher Lupe Carrasco Cardona are part of this network of Black and brown activists organized by the Community Self-Defense Coalition, searching for ICE and federal agents in their neighborhood.
We're letting people know that ICE is in the area so that they can act accordingly. We're reminding them that they have rights, whether they're documented or not.
We were there as they encountered immigrants headed to work, advising them of their rights, like they don't have to open their doors to agents unless there's a warrant signed by a judge, and handing them red cards outlining those rights. He says it's good that they're helping. He didn't want to share his name, fearing the uncertainty around arrests.
We're talking about our neighbors, our community members, people we care about.
That's what drives Lupe and this group that's been doing these patrols since the 1990s, ramping up now almost weekly. They say they've learned how to identify ICE personnel.
Oftentimes they don't have plates or they have exempt plates.
They look mostly for tinted SUVs as they drive through the streets. As we turn the corner, we spot them. They're checking out a vehicle.
That wasn't a nice vehicle.
We asked them if they think they're inciting fear in the community with their patrols. Or their live streaming of their social networks. They say the community is already fearful and craves information, especially when they actually see agents.
As we use our megaphones, we use our voices very loudly to alert anybody living in those homes.
We asked ICE what they thought about these patrols. They did not respond to our request for comment, but on their website it states obstructing or otherwise interfering with an ICE arrest is a crime.
We're not obstructing. We are reminding people that they have rights and that they should defend them.
They say they're exercising their First Amendment rights and staying clear of agents' work with the hope that the public attention will actually deter agents. They say it's worked before.
We've kind of alerted the community, alerted them that they're on watch, and they've left.
They're not sure.
Well, they're going to leave, all right. They're going to leave. They're going to go back to their country. And again, I want to show you the next story because I know that frustrates a lot of hardworking American taxpayers that are sick of, what is it, 9.5 trillion in California going to illegal alien healthcare when we can't afford our healthcare, we can't afford our medicines. And no, that's not because of Trump. That is because, again, when our tax dollars don't go to serve us, they're serving others, especially illegals that are coming into this country. It does get frustrating. Check this out. This was Bill Malugin, new ICE and HSI in the Rio Grande Valley conducted a worksite operation at a bakery in Los Fresnos, Texas, arresting 8 illegal alien employees and charging the owners with federal felonies for harboring and aiding the illegal alien. This is what Tom Homan talked about, 8 U.S.C. 1324. It says, this is the law Tom Homan has been repeatedly threatened to use for anyone hiding, concealing, harboring, aiding, and abetting illegal aliens. Federal prosecutions of business owners for hiring illegal aliens have been relatively rare in the past. HSI says the owners, who are both lawful permanent residents in the U.S., admitted they knew the aliens were in the U.S. illegally and they harbored them on their personal property via employing them. 2 of the Mexican illegal aliens interviewed by HSI said the same. The owners were aware of their unlawful status and willfully harbored them onto the property. 18 U.S.C. 1324 is a serious federal crime with potential sentence of years in prison if convicted. This is awesome. People might not like what I'm saying here, but again, we just covered, was it yesterday or the day before, the residents, what was it? It was in Illinois, where they have people that are illegals running businesses, because you don't need to be a citizen to run a business or open up a business in that state. And they were talking about how they're preparing for the raids, and how one even said, we have a room in the back where people hide. I hope Tom Homan was watching that video. I hope you go in there and make an example out of them. Again, the easiest way to get people to self-deport and to leave this country who are here illegally is by showing them the consequences. This is epic. This is historic. We've been covering the border for quite a while, covering all the corruptions that Democrats have put in. And this is huge. This is huge. How about this one? 177 criminal aliens were flown from Guatemala Bay to Venezuela, 80 of them having ties to the foreign terrorist organization Tren de Aragua. Take a look. They're happy to be home. That's good. So that's great news. 177 deported, and 80 of them having ties to a criminal terrorist organization. Let's see what else we have here. And before we get to the... Okay, let me pull up what Slim Tito was talking about, see if I can find. I didn't see anybody tag me in it, so... I did see Joe Biggs. Oh... Let's pull this is BG on the scene. So this person, well, I'd seen videos earlier, were antagonizing, and I'm sure this is going to end well. Street justice, folks. Street justice. Let's.
Whoa. Dude, I'd like to talk to you. Come on, no, you threw the phone up. I'd like to. Come here.
What phone? Were you
There's.
And I have it all on camera. How's it feel getting arrested again? You can't just
people. You can't just touch people.
It's not a pardon, it's superior court.
You don't get to just put your hands on people. You don't get to come here and do whatever the fuck you want. You just assaulted me, and now you're getting arrested. Good fucking job, you idiot, you pathetic piece of shit. Good job. You just assaulted me. Yeah, where's your mom? Where's Zuni?
I love how people that don't take care of their own kids and haven't talked to them in months is talking about moms.
Where is Zuni?
Back up.
I'd like to press charges, obviously.
Back up.
You can't just do whatever you want.
Oh, he can and he will. Watch. And I promise you the outcome. Let me find another one. See if there was, because I was watching her put that phone in people's face earlier. Let me see if that has that. Is this it? No, it's just a bunch about the arrest. Is this it? Yeah, that's he'll be out. No charges. I promise you right now. There'll be no nothing will stick on this.
Whoa.
Dude, I'd like to pass this
Come on, no, you threw the phone up.
It's amazing how I can't find the whole video. BG on the scene's usually pretty good, but why would he only show that part and not the beginning? Yeah, this is good for Proud Boy recruitment because, again, these people that are out here, many of them that before they got into finding out what right wing was, they were on TikTok talking about their mental disorders, talking about their all their issues and how they hate their children and everything else, and then they come out, they're anti-American. This will absolutely help the recruitment, and I promise you that person right there will learn a lesson in FAFO. Because again, you're going to do it to the wrong person when police are not around, and it's unfortunate, but maybe they'll learn their lesson. I'm trying to see here. Once again, let's see. Trying to see again, I'm sure a video will come out. It's not popping up here, but the whole encounter, because I was watching one earlier where she was in there doing the same thing and trying to harass the folks. Again, it's usually a double standard in DC, but I don't think that's going to be the case anymore. So again, just raise Enrique's stock up quite a bit. That's what you got to look at that as. Let me see some of the comments. And again, thank you, Knucklehead Homestead, for doing a challenge today, guys. We are 100% viewer funded. If you want to help us out, we appreciate the blessings. Thank you more than you know. You can donate to us at Venmo at OreoJosh, givesendgo.com/Oreo2024. Also, we have Cash App, $Oreo Army. And we also have, what else do we have? We have Zelle. If you want to head to our website, theoreoexpress.com. On our website, there's a donate now button. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights on. We'll probably do a show this afternoon. I'm trying to see what all the schedule's like right now. I do have some stuff I have to take care of. If we do, I'd appreciate you guys jumping back in and watching that. So have a blessed day. And thank you so much again for tuning in. Thanks again, guys. Have a great day.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free.